Good morning, guys. Today is the day. We're reporting to you live from Total Shop Prestige out here in Stockton with the one and only Lamar. He's back there somewhere doing something right quick. But today's finally the day where we're gonna attempt to tune the daily 04 Matrix XRS. We're gonna be installing the LINK Monsoon G4X ECU. We're gonna be installing a IAT sensor, wideband O2, and we'll hopefully not blow it up.
Failure is always an option. So we're gonna put it on the lift first and assess the wideband installation first. See if we can at least build a test pipe out of maybe 3-inch. We use the turbo cars here, so all the piping is like huge. And then after that, we'll focus on the brunt of the work, which is installing the ECU and getting it to run right. And go from there.
Sick. Alright, Dr. Lamar.
This is a pipe.
What's the plan?
So we're gonna cut it here, right at the resonator, and then right before the cap. We're gonna build a test pipe, literally just for testing purposes. And we're going to put the wideband sensor into the test pipe. So once we're done with it, we could just bolt this back up by putting two planters here and here.
Go. Primary gets tucked away, that goes
Tucked away. We don't need the primary O2 sensor for testing. We also do not need for testing purposes.
Oh shit. Now will this?
Because this is for catalytic converter efficiency, and this is for the OEM ECU narrowband signal. It's a very narrow 0 to 1 volt signal that gets transmitted to the ECU.
Now by doing this, will this trigger check engine light for missing secondary O2?
That will get tuned out. For testing purposes, we will not have a check engine light illuminated.
Ow. Oh, there it is. It said swift and fast like lightning. Oh, it's twisting the wires. Oh god. Alright, cool. Dang. We're taking it down, like off?
Yeah.
Fuck it, bro. Open down pipe. Alright, so I got rid of the primary and secondary O2 sensors. Got the exhaust pipe coming off the exhaust manifold and the mid pipe back, bolted back on. So now we're gonna tack weld the test pipe right here. And Lamar's cutting that. And I also cut a hole in my carpet for no reason. Next step is gonna be wiring in a wideband O2 sensor. Alright, so opening up the AEM X series box you get. Ah! This guy looking at you. The idea is to just run the car off of this single O2 sensor rather than dealing with this one and a secondary. We should be able to get all the readings we need off of just one sensor. This is gonna go into the factory primary O2 sensor port, and we're just gonna route the wire and the gauge up into my glove box. Alright, while Lamar's finishing up the exhaust, welding all that together, I'm moving on to the air intake temperature sensor. A couple options. Option one is we're going to try to run the ECU off of the air intake temp sensor from the MAF. If not, I'll go ahead and install this, and you want to install these before the throttle body. Now there's a couple ways to wire in a standalone ECU. One would be using a jumper harness that goes straight from the wiring harness of the car directly to the standalone ECU plugs. But the route I've gone, I'm using what's called a jumper harness, or like a piggyback harness. One end gets plugged into the wiring harness of the body, one end gets plugged into the ECU, and then one end gets plugged in directly to the standalone LINK ECU. I should be able to retain factory stuff like climate control. We're gonna see if I can still pull engine codes through the factory OBD2 port, which would be really useful. It may not be pretty, but it works. We'll see. Alright, let's first start with the test pipe. And that's it, just a test pipe. Like no ECU, no nothing. No check engine light.
Not yet.
everything's plugged in. Lamar's in the driver's seat with the laptop. I'm gonna hook the battery up, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Got a legitimate Lamar's custom too.
Oh shit. Unlock code was successful. That's the only wire we're gonna have to move.
Oh, okay. From
Other than that, like, I have TPS voltage. So now we get to go through here and set up literally every single parameter that the engine needs to function properly, including and not limited to engine type, the firing order, the ignition style, the injection style, triggers, all that great stuff.
This is some like matrix type shit that has to happen.
Yeah. Fuel main is off. We will go to sequential injection. Sequential. Is that the word?
Sequential injection?
Sequential. Yes, I was just trying to remember how to say it. Master fuel, we'll leave that alone for now until we're setting up our fuel map. We are running pump gas, so our stoichiometric ratio is 14.7. Minimum effective pulse width, we'll leave that alone. We'll go over here to injectors. Injector dead time table has some general values in here. We'll see what happens with that. We'll come back to that. Our trigger setup, we will be borrowing the trigger setup from a 2NZ Toyota engine because it is the same, and that's what measures RPM and all that great stuff. All right, let's go over to inputs. So we currently have Lambda 1, which I said was on aux 3 or AM volt 3.
All right, so Lamar's been at the laptop for, I don't know, probably been like 20 minutes. And I think he said he's like 20% done through now, but it's enough to like start the motor. So we're gonna see what happens when we turn the key. Let's see. Please don't blow up. All right.
I'm not exactly certain that we have fuel.
I don't really know how to translate what's going wrong, but what is it that basically the fuel pump?
Hey, your harness is wrong.
All right, guys, sad to say, I think I've taken, fuck, I don't even know what to say. I don't have words. We're accepting defeat today. We turned a perfectly running car into not a running car. And now my eye all twitching. We got a test pipe now for test purposes.
For testing purposes.
And the test is, car now doesn't run. I don't know exactly why. I don't know, Lamar, you want to explain what the fuck didn't happen or happened or what?
We've been betrayed by the expanding foam.
Hard foam, expanding foam to protect the pits. Hey man, I know it wasn't $800. Yeah, because it looks like it wasn't $800.
The way I can explain this in a way that everybody understands is there was a pinout that was given for this. That pinout was wrong. There were certain functions that were supposed to be assigned to certain pins, but those functions do not perform when activating said pin. So this could have been easily rectifiable, but we've been betrayed by the expanding foam.
So if you're gonna get a jumper harness,
Don't get it off of eBay.
don't get it off of eBay. There's a reason these things cost like a lot of money, and
There's a reason why that one wasn't a lot of money.
it's the expanding foam. If your jumper harness is held together with expanding foam, you have the wrong harness. But now we're gonna go ahead and half undo everything we just did. Now I'm probably gonna have a check engine light. Came in here without one, leaving with one. But we're down, but not out. We're gonna get this fixed, and in time, this will be a tuned Matrix XRS.
We're almost there.
So close. But until then,
You can continue to pass him on the left.
keep driving those slow cars fast. Pass on the left.